Hello and welcome everyone to Women Speakers Association WSA TV. I'm Laura Rubenstein, your host and producer of WSA TV. Today we have a fabulous show. I can't wait to introduce to you our expert Joanne Mulhall. And before we do that, I'm a digital media and marketing strategist at transformtoday.com. I'm coming to you live today from San Diego. Very exciting. And we are talking today about creating your power wellness mindset. So I want to jump right in, and I'm going to stop sharing my screen and introduce you to, hi, Joanne.
Hi, Laura. How are you today?
I'm great. Great to see you. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm here from Vancouver, British Columbia, and you can find me on corewellnesssolutions.com is my website.
Great. And you are a certified
Certified
wellness?
wellness consultant, yeah. So I have a lot of training in nutrition and energy work and certified as an iridologist.
Great. So you are the perfect person to bring this topic to today, because when we think about health and wellness, a lot of it has to do with mindset. And I kind of want to discuss that. I want to have our listeners and viewers today, and thank you everyone for being here. And we love your likes and shout outs and questions in the comments field. Feel free to chat with us. I'll be checking periodically your comments, so welcome. So, why don't we jump right in? Why is it important to create a powerful wellness mindset? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, it's really about quality of life. And I think that everything stems from that. One of the reasons why I called my business Core Wellness Solutions is because it has to come from your foundation. And that is very individual to every person. So creating your power mindset for wellness is not going to be the same as, mine to yours to somebody else's. We all have different ideas of what health and well-being means to us. And in order to really live into that, we have to create the mindset that's going to match with our desires so that we can actually put it into action and then live it on a day-to-day basis. And that really does start from that creating of what is it that I want. And, for a lot of people, especially in the kind of the baby boomer age, it really is about quality of life. And what type of day-to-day living do I want to have that's going to keep me vital and energetic and contributing to my community, to my family, to myself? All these areas that are so important. So it really does start with us and how we think about ourselves and how we envision, health and well-being to be the best that we can be.
And I heard you talk about a couple of things here. Baby boomers are starting to think about their wellness. Is this just related to people of a certain age, or why would anybody want to create a power wellness mindset?
Well, it's interesting because I see it as a trend probably more significantly with baby boomers. And so I'm one of them. So I'll say, sort of 50 plus, we don't envision ourselves the way, like if I think of my parents at my age, I see a very different picture. And I see myself in a very different way than probably my parents even saw themselves at my age at 55. So, but it's interesting that I see it with a younger generation as well. My kids are in their 20s and there's definitely a big shift, I think, globally to really the younger generation, they kind of aren't into the status quo anymore. They don't get into the, get a good education, get a job. They really want to create a different kind of life for themselves. And again, that starts with mindset, and it starts with, how do they want to contribute? How do they want to be well and vital? So I see some interesting shifts happening there too, in terms of, kids becoming more aware of nutrition and, just wellness in general, fitness, things that keep them, engaged and not stressed out, not in the grind. So that's a big part of it too.
So, what I'm getting out of what you're setting, and I love this idea of focusing on wellness at all ages because it's not about, solving a problem after you have a problem issue. It's all about
Exactly.
prevention, right? It's like having that
Exactly.
lifestyle, the energy you want, the attitude you want. I mean, when you feel good mentally, your body also does good things. Would you say that's in alignment? Tell me more about what you think about that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And it's interesting because I think in my expertise of holistic nutrition, and as I said, iridology, which is an analytical tool for being able to look at the condition of the body through the eyes, I kind of address it I fundamentally on the body level. Like it's like, let's get the body sorted out. Let's get, some issues resolved. And then mentally, things start to come into focus, mental clarity, better mood, better, just better mindset overall. And then, of course, it feeds on itself and it propels things forward. So I think it's interesting that it's not necessarily how you would attempt to get to this end result of a good, healthy vision for yourself. But creating the mindset first is definitely a key tool, but sometimes can be really challenging because physically on a level we're suffering or we're just not well. And so to create a mindset from an unhealthy place physically is actually very challenging.
What advice would you give for people to do that, take that very first step? Because I would say people are challenged, even if they're at any age with their health, whether it's a weight issue or it's a physical ailment or a sprain or it's a
Yeah.
disease.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, one of the fundamental things I do with my clients is to put them on a whole cleanse and detox system. So, on the physical level, they start to shift their body from something that might be clogged and congested and have a lot of areas that are affected all at the same time. I've been a big proponent of that from the very early training that I did in my holistic nutrition and background. And then from there, you basically clear the channels. And when you start to clear the channels, clarity comes not only physically, but mentally. And you can see a big shift there. So it's an interesting process.
So I want to talk about this. You said you put people on a cleanse. Now,
Yeah.
I did a program, it was a 10-day blood sugar, I guess it was a cleanse or whatever.
Yeah.
But to get me on that, someone who, you know, it took a total mindset shift and I resisted a lot of it. What advice do you have for someone, now I didn't have a big ailment I was dealing with, but I just I just kind of said, I'm just going to do it and I'll deal with the mindset stuff while I'm doing it.
Right.
I don't know if that was the best. How could have I prepared for that better mentally? What suggestions would you have?
Well, I think the biggest thing is to sort of look at, from this point of where you're at now and look down two roads. And the one road is doing exactly what you're doing now and not changing anything and projecting 5, maybe 10, 15, 20 years down on that same path. And where do you see yourself? And then the other road is if I do something that's going to fundamentally assist me and change my health picture, where does that take me in a totally different direction? And so that's often the because I do a lot of mindset preparation with people at the beginning of us working together, and a lot of those questions are around how do you see yourself differently once you get some results and you're feeling differently, you're feeling better, you're feeling more energized, what does that look like? And get them to really envision and picture how they see their life being differently, not just how they feel, but how they see their life being differently. And it's amazing some of the things that come out, oh, I can see myself being able to, I get my life back, or I can see myself, going back to dancing or exercising that doing things that I used to love to do that I can't do right now, or playing with my kids, having energy, young moms who are challenged to have the energy at the end of the day to be, really present for their kids, or, all those kinds of things. So yeah, I think it's just really thinking about, okay, here I am if I don't change what I'm doing, where am I going to be? So that's a key piece to really consider.
You have one life, right?
Exactly. And you also have, well, and for now anyway, and you also have one body this time around. And, if you don't take care of it, where are you going to live? Basically, this is our vehicle and this really is our temple. And what can we do to look after it the best way that we can so we can um, be the person that we want to be, but also be the person that we want to be for other people.
Mm. Absolutely. That's compelling. That's super sage advice. And I want to just give a shout out to those of you who are listening and getting inspired because this is your life and you get to choose, how well you live it. And part of it's this everything that Joanne's saying. So, Joanne, I want to get to know you a little bit more. What are you passionate about? Who do you work with? And what do you do with them?
Well, I work with a lot of women, particularly probably, anywhere from 30s, young moms up till, 60s, 70s, but women seem to be kind of the people who want to come and I think that's more because women are nurturing, women are interested in ultimately their best wellness picture. And luckily I'm seeing more men come along, but it's a little slower. And I'm really passionate about empowering. I don't want to be the fix-it person. I want to empower others to be able to have the tools to be able to do it themselves.
Mm.
And so I'm big on, like, my education piece with my clients is very big.
Education is power, especially when you have a support person to help, guide you. Now, how did you come to this work?
Well, like a lot of people in holistic health, because I have taught, and so I've heard a lot of stories of new students who come into programs like, "Why are you here?" A lot of people resonate with holistic health because they've been challenged with their own health issues, and I certainly was in my late 20s, early 30s. I was having a lot of digestive issues. Actually, even it started in my late teens. I was having a lot of digestive issues. I was having a lot of back issues. I physically just did not feel well. And, I could see myself. I did that actual vision that I described to you. I could see myself, 20 years down the road in not a very good place. If I kept going or if I kept traveling down that same road. And I thought, I don't want to go there. That's just not a place I want to be. So what do I have to do to change that? So I started investigating, and I for back issues, I had gone to a chiropractor for probably, at this point already 10, 12 years. And she got me seeing a naturopath. That was the first time I'd ever seen a naturopathic doctor. I actually did go and have treatments with an iridologist, which got me really fascinated about that world and how I ended up training in it. And, I explored all kinds of holistic modalities because I was not getting the answers that I was looking for from what is known as the allopathic healthcare system, which is our standard medical system. They just didn't go beyond sort of the standard, tests and things like that. And I really got the answers from, these other health professionals that could delve in more on me as a holistic person. And so that was it. That just walked in my path. By the time I'd had my third child, I was like, okay, I have to do this as a career, and so what am I going to do? And I started looking at courses, and that's what got me excited about, this is it, because I want to be able to share this with other people. I want people to know that there are options and that they don't have to sit with feeling unwell and not like how they want to feel, that the options are there. Stones should be turned over and explored, and, different things work for different people, but there's just so many options out there that we don't have to accept sort of standard practices that do not empower, I don't feel, an individual to really take control of their health and, develop themselves the way they want to.
Do you have a wellness transformation story in addition to your own of somebody you've worked with?
Yeah, well, I've got so many, but I guess the first one that jumps to mind is actually an older woman. She was probably in her 70s at the time, And, this particular story jumps out at me because she'd been suffering for a very long time from digestive issues. And we made some simple changes to her diet and got her on some very basic things like, apple cider vinegar and things that would help tweak her stomach function. And, within a couple of weeks, she was just so happy, that things were resolving and she was feeling so much better and was able to have food without pain. Another woman who at the time was not able to have, it's a big topic of, some people get screaming around bowel movements, but she couldn't have a bowel movement without doing an enema. And, this had chained her to her house. It was absolutely debilitating. And yet a simple mineral like magnesium, which we implemented into her regime, solved the problem in a very short period of time. And yet people wouldn't know about this because at the time the information wasn't really out there. And luckily now through the internet and through social media and all these things, there's almost more information than we know what to do with, which gets very challenging for people because they often don't know what to do. So that's where sort of my role as a coach and a consulting practitioner can help them navigate through all this because it is challenging. And we want it to work again for that person. It's not shotgun approach because if you're doing that, you're not really trying to figure out what's going to work best for you. And that can have ramifications where people again are spending time and money on things that aren't going to be effective. So
I'd love the idea of having a guide because of, I've done that for years and years. Even when I've gone to nutritionists and holistic practitioners, I've always gotten another, like a second opinion, or I've gotten a practitioner's opinion because we've gotten so much information online. I'm like, okay, well, I could take fish oils, but how much should I take? Right. And what should I take them with or without? And is it really the right solution? And what's the quality I should be looking for? So I always go to a practitioner or a holistic MD to help me decide what is. So what you're doing is phenomenal. And I'm so glad we've had this time to get to know you and learn how to create a wellness mindset and start taking the actions to better ourselves physically, take care of our bodies. That's the body we have, right? So, tell me a little bit. I know we're about to end here, but I wanted to end up with about Women's Speakers Association, how you came here and what do you love about it?
Well, Gail Watson, who is a key part of Women's Speaker Association, one of the founders, is actually a friend and neighbor kind of up the road. And I learned of Women's Speakers Association years ago, but really hadn't had an opportunity with other things I was doing, I guess, to just really plug in and take advantage of this great opportunity. And, so I just reconnected with Gail last fall and said, no, I got to do this. I know we talked about this before because I think, women as a group are a very powerful speaking force. And she said, great, let's do it. And so here I am. And I love the connection and I love the opportunities that it's presenting for me.
And we love that we get to connect with you and offer this time together. And it's been a joy to interview you. Thank you so much. And for everyone else out there, thanks for watching. If you have any questions about a powerful wellness mindset or getting getting weller in your life, Joanne is here for you at corewellnesssolutions.com. And of course, if you've been inspired by Joanne and her leadership and taking passion to change the world and make that global transformation, we are helping women all over the world do that one message at a time. We're inspiring that impact. We're inspiring women and through our influence and impact, and we have a free level of membership waiting right for you at joinwsa.com, and you can check it out, or you can even join at the premier level like Joanne has and I have at joinwsa.com. We even have a free for you. You're going to get a speaker success plan when you join at our free level. It'll walk you through like a roadmap of how to get more speaking engagements, get paid more, and thrive. So we're here to help you and promote you and connect with you and collaborate with you. We'll be back again in July with another edition of Women's Speakers Association, WSA TV. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.
Thanks, Laura. Bye. Thanks. This was really fun.
Thank you.